Welcome back to the deep dive. Everyone wants to be strong, right? Resilient, capable, and usually we think physical strength, lifting weights, running fast, that kind of thing. But today, we're going deeper. We're diving into something maybe even more fundamental: mental toughness, grit. Our mission here is to really cut through all the noise, pull out the most important, research-backed stuff from our sources, and basically give you a shortcut to understanding how to build that real, solid mental resilience.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And mental toughness isn't just like a nice idea. It's a genuine psychological edge. It really helps people push through serious challenges, achieve success over time. And right alongside it, you've got grit.
Yeah.
Think of grit, Angela Duckworth's idea as well. Perseverance and passion for long-term goals. It's stamina, for the marathon of life, not just a quick sprint.
Okay, stamina. I like that.
Yeah. And look, if you get academic about it, grit is often about that laser focus on one big goal. Mental toughness is maybe a bit broader, more adaptable state for, various challenges. But honestly, the key thing connecting them, the really powerful part, is that core ability to just stick with it, perseverance.
That makes sense. And just to be super clear, this isn't only for Navy SEALs or pro athletes.
Right, definitely.
This is for you listening, dealing with job stress, relationship stuff, just the everyday grind. It's relevant because, well, as we'll get into, our modern world might actually be making us a bit softer, less resilient.
It's a real phenomenon. Some people call it the comfort crisis.
Yeah.
We've basically engineered our lives to avoid almost any discomfort. Convenience is king. But that's had some pretty significant downsides for our mental and physical health, hidden costs.
Okay, like what?
We'll look at the stats. Global obesity nearly tripled since 1975. And tragically, suicide is now the second leading cause of death globally for 15 to 29-year-olds. Plus, you hear more and more about loneliness, depression, even though we're supposedly hyper-connected.
Wow. Those are sobering numbers.
They are, and it suggests that maybe, just maybe, by dodging all discomfort, we're letting those resilience muscles atrophy. We're less prepared when real adversity hits, which, it always does eventually.
Is there a direct link being suggested between, say, comfort and loneliness, even with all our tech?
It's more than just correlation, yeah. I mean, think about it. If we avoid any effort, even the effort of deep connection, we might opt for easier, more superficial interactions online.
Yeah.
And our brains are kind of wired for that easy win. The marshmallow test?
Oh, yeah, the Stanford one. Kids want the treat now.
Exactly. That's present bias. We crave immediate rewards, easy stuff, even if waiting gets us something much better later on.
And that's the kicker, isn't it? The really worthwhile things in life. They're rarely quick, easy, or comfortable. They take work.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there's biology behind avoiding discomfort, too. Your amygdala, the fear center, it lights up. Your prefrontal cortex tries to manage it. But here's the crucial shift in thinking. Discomfort isn't the enemy. It's actually a vital signal for growth.
A signal? How so?
When you intentionally lean into it, you're not just suffering through, you're engaging a process. This leads to more life satisfaction, better psychological resilience, even cognitive flexibility. It's neuroplasticity in action. It's that choice to face the discomfort that tells your brain, hey, I'm okay even under stress. It recalibrates your system.
So it's trainable. Mental toughness isn't just something you have or don't have.
Exactly. It's a skill set.
Okay, so let's get practical. What are some key habits? How do we actually train this?
Right. So our first big theme is embracing discomfort and seeking new experiences. It sounds a bit weird, maybe, but trying new things, even stuff you're bad at initially. It builds confidence for handling stress later. There's a great story about a guy named Logan. He lost his arm. Yeah. But instead of focusing on the loss, he poured energy into new skills. Writing with his other hand, shuffling cards, even using those Chinese bowling balls.
Metal dolls, you roll.
Ones. He said these things felt minuscule in the moment, but were monumental for his whole mindset. It perfectly shows Carol Dweck's growth mindset, believing you can develop abilities through effort. And this idea of discipline, it's not a prison. It's actually freedom.
Freedom? How's discipline freedom?
Because it lets you take control. You design your life, reduce decision fatigue, focus on what matters, align with your values. You're not just reacting to impulses. A very concrete way to practice this: cold showers.
The dreaded cold showers. I knew they'd come up.
Yeah. But that controlled shock, it trains your nervous system to handle stress, builds discipline, plus it releases norepinephrine for alertness and endorphins, those mood boosters. You don't have to go crazy. Yeah. Start small, 15, 30 seconds of cold at the end of your normal shower, build up to a few minutes a few times a week.
Okay, so it's like intentionally doing mini stress drills for your brain. a mental workout to expand your capacity.
You got it.
But what about the mental side of starting that? Like when your brain is screaming, don't do it, stay warm, what are the hurdles there?
That internal voice is a huge hurdle, telling you it's pointless, too hard, you're silly for trying. Just overcoming that initial why bother narrative is the first step.
Yeah.
Which leads us to theme 2, mastering your mindset and perspective. Logan, the guy who lost his arm, he really emphasized that attitude is everything. He had to accept his reality. My arm was never going to come back. Brutal honesty. But then he chose to turn it into a catalyst for growth, for becoming who he wanted to be. He actively fought against learned helplessness.
So acceptance first, then a conscious choice about direction.
Exactly. It's about reframing, taking negative thoughts and turning them productive. Like instead of, I suck right now, changing it to, okay, learn from this, get the next one. We saw a triathlete do this during a race, totally drained, but used reframing to push through and finish strong.
That reframing seems key.
It is. And crucially, don't get stuck ruminating on the past or obsessing over what you don't want. Put your energy towards what you do want. Focus on what you can control. That builds what some call a sunshine state of mind. Feel the tough emotions, sure, allow them. But don't live in self-pity. Pivot to perspective.
And positive self-talk fits in here.
Definitely. It's not about pretending everything's perfect. It's about consciously choosing to focus on your strengths, your capabilities. Be your own cheerleader. And challenge those negative thoughts. Ask yourself, is that really true? Visualization is another powerful tool here.
Like athletes picturing the win.
Yeah, that's part of it. When you vividly imagine things, your brain activates similar regions as if you were actually doing it. Boost neuroplasticity, emotional regulation. You can use guided imagery, picturing a calm nature scene to ease anxiety. Or things like loving-kindness meditation for relaxation, motivation, compassion. Athletes use it constantly for confidence.
This reframing stuff is powerful, but what if you're really stuck in that negative spiral? That I suck feeling is overwhelming. What's the absolute first practical step to just start the reframe?
Great question. The very first step is just noticing the thought. Simple awareness, no judgment attached. Then maybe create a tiny physical break. Take one deep breath, stand up, walk around for 10 seconds. That little pause gives your thinking brain, your prefrontal cortex, a chance to step in. And then gently ask that question. Is this thought really 100% true? It just opens a crack for a different perspective.
Okay. Awareness, pause, gentle question. Got it. What's next?
Our final theme, the power of consistency in support systems. Look, mental toughness often isn't about the big dramatic finish. It's more about just getting to the starting line every day. It's about showing up when no one is watching, keeping focused, doing that little bit consistently, especially on the days you really don't feel like it.
The days it's easy to skip.
Those are the crucial ones. Remember Einstein's quote, "It's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems longer." Success is baked into the details of the process, not just the final result. How you set up your workspace, the questions you ask in your journal, following through on small promises.
So tiny habits matter.
Hugely. Think about keystone habits. Small actions that ripple up positively into other areas, like a consistent morning routine. It can lower stress hormones, boost mood, increase serotonin, or journaling great for reflection, tracking progress.
Makes sense. But what about the support system part?
Absolutely critical. You don't build this stuff in a vacuum. Research clearly shows social support builds resilience to stress. Find accountability partners. Maybe a professional coach for specific goals. Get involved in community groups. That sense of belonging, that encouragement, it's vital. And here's one people sometimes overlook, giving back, helping others.
How does that build your toughness?
It improves your own mood, gives you perspective on your own problems. Plus, kindness is genuinely contagious. It creates a positive upward spiral.
So consistency, small wins, and leaning on others, not going it alone. But are there common mistakes people make when they try to use a support system for this?
Oh, definitely. A big one is expecting your support network to, fix things for you. They're there for support, accountability, maybe advice, but the work is still yours. Another is not being clear about what kind of support you actually need. That can lead to frustration on both sides.
Right, managing expectations. Okay, so we've covered a lot about building it, but there are some myths floating around about mental toughness, aren't there? Let's tackle some common misconceptions.
Yeah, let's debunk a few. It's important. Myth number 1, I have to build mental toughness all by myself. Fact. Nope. Completely untrue. Your network, family, friends, teammates, mentors, they are essential. Fact. Seriously, research shows even just one strong, trusting relationship makes a huge difference in your resilience. Mental toughness grows when you actually seek out support, encouragement, and, yeah, even constructive feedback.
It's funny how strong that lone wolf idea is for so many people. Is it maybe a fear of looking weak? Vulnerability.
I think it's often a mix. There's that cultural narrative about rugged individualism, sure, but also, yeah, being vulnerable feels uncomfortable. And leaning into that discomfort is part of building toughness itself.
Okay, myth two.
Myth 2. Mental toughness means ignoring your emotions. Fact. Not even close. It's actually about becoming more aware of your feelings, identifying them, managing them, finding healthy ways to express them. Fact. It's learning coping skills, so difficult emotions don't derail you. And sometimes, it's even about harnessing emotions like anger or frustration, using that energy productively instead of just bottling it up.
So emotional intelligence, basically, not suppression.
Precisely. Okay, myth 3. Mentally tough people never feel stressed. Fact. Look, everyone feels stress. Life throws curveballs. Fact. The difference is that mentally tough people learn to balance high-pressure situations with adequate recovery. They prioritize rest, good sleep, use strategies like mindfulness or exercise to decompress. It's about managing stress, not eliminating it.
Acknowledging it and actively recovering.
Right.
Last myth.
Myth 4. Mentally tough people never fail. Fact. This one is maybe the most wrong. Failure is actually critical for building mental toughness. Fact. If you never fail, you never really learn how to bounce back. Mentally tough people aren't afraid of failing. What matters is how they handle setbacks. They analyze what went wrong. They ask for help. They try different approaches. They work hard to not repeat the same mistake.
That's a huge reframe. Failure isn't the end. It's part of the training manual.
Exactly. It's the growth mindset in action, learning from experience.
Wow, okay, what a deep dive this has been. So wrapping up, mental toughness clearly isn't about being some kind of robot or superhuman. It's really a collection of skills, habits, mindsets, all trainable, that empower you to handle life's ups and downs with more grace, more purpose. We talked about embracing discomfort, mastering that inner dialogue, the power of showing up consistently and leaning on your people. Hopefully something we discussed today really clicked for you, sparked an idea for one small thing you could try.
And as you think about all this, let me leave you with a question to chew on. It's from the author James Clear. Are you low on rest or low on meaning? Just consider that. Is the fatigue you feel purely physical exhaustion? Or does it stem from a deeper need for purpose, for connection to something meaningful? Cultivating mental toughness can actually help with both. So the challenge is, pick one small, consistent action you can start today to build your resilience. And remember what Logan found, even after everything. Service was joy. Finding ways to contribute can be incredibly strengthening.